This week on The Moment with Louie, we are tapping in with Alfonso Comic. He's starting up his own podcast, and before he blows up, let's go take a look at his life. This week on The Moment with Louie, we got Alfonso Comic, my brother right here. Been doing comedy for a minute, since before I knew him. You know, he's been a dealer before I know him, and that's actually how we know each other, from dealing cars and dealing with bullshit.
That's work, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely every day I work is a different scenario of more bullshit going on. But let's jump right in it. Where did you grow up?
No, it's just so funny, man. Like, we're starting off the podcast talking about my day job.
Yeah.
This guy's fucking legit. I know him from work.
Yeah, he's great. He's a great worker. I can vouch for him.
He's never late. Let's talk about his comedy.
Yeah.
No, I'm from Hemet, man. And do you know Hemet?
Hemet, it's like an hour north of San Diego, right?
Yeah, like an hour north and inland, and it's like the local joke. Like, if you say you're from Hemet, it's like people laugh. You know what I mean? Like, that's like it's like a hack local joke.
Okay.
Like, people are like, oh fuck, Hemet jokes. Okay, great. You know, but that's how shitty the town is. Like, it's been made fun of so much, it's hacked to make fun of it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really methy. You know?
Yeah. It's really meth though.
Yeah, really methy. Yeah, dude. Stabbing, shootings, lots of Section 8. You know, all a good mix of ghetto. You know.
Okay, so
you got it all.
It's like a meth version of Arizona.
Yeah,
like
sure.
California's meth.
Town. Yeah, it's just a gross place, man. Like, they can't. You know what's fucked up about Hemet is they can't support anything. Like, they're like a Pick and Save went out of business. Like, what the fuck is that, dude? Like, you can't support that. It's all boarded up. I've never seen a Pick and Save. Like, people are like, that shit is
do not
too
save
expensive.
That. Yeah. Do not save that. Do you think, like, being from Hemet and being like Hemet is like kind of like a joke within Hemet is like? Do you think that was like a natural gateway into comedy?
Actually, it wasn't. Okay, so like that's what it is now. When I was growing up in the 90s, so I graduated in 97, okay. And in the 90s, it was just, okay, it was shitty, but it was not, it was poor, but it wasn't shitty.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, so it was real working class. One thing about Hemet is there's no freeways directly into it. So you got to drive away to get to a freeway to get to civilization. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's just a dumb town, man. So this is how lame it was. So like when there'd be a new gas station, people are like, I want to get gas at the new gas station.
Yeah.
That's how like they were excited.
It's like, oh, there's a new gas station.
Dude,
everybody stop what you're doing.
I'm not even fucking around. There'd be a line at like a new Jack in the Box.
Yeah.
And like the old one's just like, dude, we've been here. Like,
it's
that's
like
just another Jack in the Box. They're selling the same bullshit food we are.
Yeah.
You want shitty tacos, you can get them at either one. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So when was the point where you were like, okay, like I'm gonna start doing stand-up, you know?
Well, okay, so like in high school, here's how it was: is I'd have like my core group of friends, right? Like just like the 3-4 dudes that like I always just hung out with, and we were just weed smokers, and we just kicked it in an apartment, smoked weed, and so I had to make the same people laugh all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and here's the thing with being funny is a lot of times people have like a certain go-to kind of joke or trick, or they're funny in a certain
like
particular,
a one-trick pony. Yeah,
kind of. So like when you're stuck around the same people for like 4 years, you got to figure out different ways to surprise them, and I think that's what like my comedy. That's why now I can come at a joke from like a bunch of different directions, is because I had practiced just fucking around, just needing a laugh and wanting to make my friends laugh, and that's pretty much what gave me the practice and got me like funny, you know, in life. You know what I mean? Just be in high school, hanging around those same people, getting high and wanting to make them laugh. And so we'd watch stand-up, right? And there was this lame show called Rosie O'Donnell's Stand-Up Spotlight. Do you remember that? Okay, this is way before your time.
I think you're aging yourself a little bit. But.
Oh, no, for sure. No, that's fine. I'm 43. Yeah,
to put in perspective, when you said 97, that's a year before I was born.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, I'm talking to like a whole different group of people now. With the Gen Z people, they have no idea what I'm talking about. So Rosie O'Donnell a fat actress that Donald Trump made fun of. So that's how you can know who she is like currently. And she was a stand-up comic, and I don't know, man. She was just lame. She was lame, and she put up all her lame friends on her show, or who I don't know. But she got like the worst people, and like it just made stand-up look so bad,
like
man.
cringe almost.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, complete cringe. Not almost. You like.
It's like fuck. So like
you keep watching it to see how like to make fun of him. Like every time a punchline hits, you're like.
So was that like your inspiration to be like man, I'm better than all these fuckers just with my friends?
So yes, so here's the thing is like my friends would be like, shut the TV off, man. Just let Fonz talk, man. Just
okay.
And yeah, because they called me Fonz in high school, and I was
hey Fonz,
yeah, pretty much like just, hey Fonz, you know, like
this fucking guy,
yeah, pretty much, and we'd have a great time just fucking around. So like we looked at stand up as just like this lame thing, and then, you know, for the longest time, I looked at it that way.
Right.
And then two things, like in the same day, changed my mind. I saw Bill Burr's half-hour special.
Oh, sick.
And this was in 2003, and he was he was barely headlining, man.
Yeah.
Like barely headlining. I think he was only like 10 years in or something like that. You know. Barely headlining. He was probably like a strong middle act at the time. So he did a Comedy Central half hour, which is actually just 22 minutes.
Right.
Because with commercials, yeah. So like I watched Bill Burr do. I'm like, what the fuck was that? That was awesome.
Yeah.
And then right after that, there was a show called Insomniac with Dave Attell, who is my all-time favorite comic, man.
Okay.
And every show, the whole show was about Dave going out and just exploring the city, because he just was naturally a night owl, but it turns out he was just on coke the whole time.
Oh shit! He's like, it's a night hotel. He's like, actually, we're just meeting up with my plug. He's like, just film me. I'm gonna do some wild shit.
Yeah, so like he admits it, like he was a whiskey and coke guy, but not Coca-Cola. But yeah, so it's but. Anyway, so he had this show where he'd stay up all night and go around and explore whatever there was to do in the city.
Okay.
And shut down bars, and then go to like after hours places, and then finally when it was at like 5 or 6, he'd find like weird jobs and start talking to the employees and stuff. So it was just a weird show. But before the show started, it would show 1 minute of Dave Attell's stand-up.
Oh shit.
And from that half hour of Bill Burr and that 1 minute of Dave Attell, I'm like, who are these guys, man? I want to be like one of these guys.
You just got hit with a brick of comedy.
Dude, I'm like, that's it. I want to do that.
Yeah.
I'm like that. I just, all right. How do I do that?
And how old are you around this time?
Okay, so like 03. That would make me about 24.
24. Okay.
So yeah, and then like. So I started like, all right, I guess I'll just start writing jokes. And I didn't even know what jokes were, right? You know what I mean? So I'm writing these lame-ass stories. Yeah, I didn't even know. That's the thing with stand-up. You don't know what it is. You have no idea what it is until you do it for a very long time. Then it starts to form. And so I wrote, and then I'm like, all right, I'm going to go see a show. And there was a show at Agua Caliente in the casino in Palm Desert. And
yeah.
So the first headliner I saw was James P. Connolly, and he was cool, man. He was funny, and I liked it. I'm like, all right, shit. Well, how do I do it? And I got some advice from those guys. I'm like, I want to be a comic, and he was very cool, man. And then so I'm like, all right, so open mics. Okay, so then I got that, and then there was nothing around me in Hemet. There is nothing going on.
Okay, so yeah, back to the point of nothing. Like
there's nothing.
Like, were you at like a gas station telling jokes for a minute, or
no?
Like...
I had to go all the way to L.A.
Oh shit!
So yeah,
and that's like another hour north, right?
That was at about an hour and a half.
Because you gotta go inland too.
Yeah,
right?
no, like not inland actually, but like northwest.
Okay,
so like I am inland. Right. So it was an hour and a half trek, man. Oh, shit. And so to do a 3-minute open mic at the Haha, so I finally did it, and it went well.
Oh, sick.
It went well. Like every one of my lame ass punchlines hit.
Oh,
yeah.
Sick,
I mean, like now I look back at that stuff and I'm just like, okay, that's the thing with comedy. As you grow, you know, with any art, I think, like the shit you were doing a year ago, even.
Yeah.
You look back and kind of like cringe. You're like, oh, dude.
Yeah, it's like I was that fucking guy.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, why did that work, man? Why did that joke work?
Yeah.
But you just get better and better. So, and then shortly after that, I might have already been living in Santa Barbara because I went to go deal at Chumash.
Okay.
And it was a pretty cool schedule because I would work 4 10-hour shifts and have 3 days off.
So like Monday through Thursday you were dealing, and then.
So it's actually Monday through Wednesday I was off. And those were great open mic days. So I tried to hit 7 open mics in LA in 3 days. That was the goal, 7 open mics. As long as I got 7 open mics in, that was the goal. So I just grew like that. I was an LA open micer when I first started. I was at the Ha Ha Cafe all the time, doing bringer shows, which means, you know what a bringer show is?
No.
Okay, so a bringer show is how they take advantage of new comics, man.
Okay.
So if you suck, nobody's gonna buy the ticket, right?
Right.
So who do you make buy the ticket? You got to bring all your own friends.
Oh, right.
So
you
you're
sell
like,
tickets.
yeah. So you're like, all right, yeah. You want to be on the show? All right. You need to bring at least 5 people paying a $15 cover.
Oh shit. Yeah.
So you help fill the room. So like you're doing something, and also when you get up there, your friends are gonna laugh at you. Yeah. So it doesn't make the show fucking die. Yeah. But like just putting up some open micer that just completely sucks, it's death to the show. People lose confidence.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
So if you don't bring those 5 people, you don't get on. Oh shit.
You don't get on. They're like, oh, you only brought 4, man. I'm sorry. Oh. Unless you want to pay, the $15, for the, and I would be, but I would actually.
Was there ever a point where you were like, oh, here's $75, just get me on the fucking stage, like?
Oh, dude, I was making great money at Chumash, so I used a lot of money to try to leverage it for comedy, and I started running my own shows, and I was the king of Santa Barbara on Mondays.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, so that was 2004, my first stage time ever. So I'm like, all right, these open mics and bringer shows are, all right, I'm kind of getting over them, man. Yeah. Because the open mics, you get nothing. You're just sitting in front of, 30 bitter open micer comics that are just trying to get up.
And their friends who are probably drunk, like, because the beers are probably cheap, right? That's how they keep.
No, they're not even drunk. They can't afford it. These are poor people, man.
Yeah.
And they're trying to make it. They're all like 20-year-old kids that are that think they're badass, So they'd go up. The only people that would get some laughs are the people that had respect. That maybe like some guy would pop in that's been on that did like a 5-minute set on Comedy Central. Okay. Which isn't shit.
At that time, Comedy Central was like
the
place for comedy.
That was it. Yeah.
Like you get your 22-minute set or whatever, and
if you had a Comedy Central Presents, it felt like you made it. Right, those guys were set. That's like, I would kind of compare it to having. It's not quite to the caliber of a Netflix special. Right. But it was a big deal.
Oh yeah, it
was a big deal.
Like how you say Bill Burr, like that's how I first heard about Kevin Hart. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Kevin Hart did one of those.
Yeah,
he had one of those.
Like he was talking about dangling his feet and shit. Like I was a little kid, so I could relate to that. You know what I mean?
I think on his half hour, Comedy Central, he was a totally different comic. Yeah. He was a mic in the mic stand guy.
Okay.
So like he wouldn't even hold the microphone. He would just sit he would leave it in the mic stand and grab the mic stand. I always hated. I don't know why. I just hated those guys.
Okay.
It's weird, but I'm like, well, dude, just fucking take it out and hold it. I'm like, what's wrong?
Yeah.
But anyway, he was a mic in the mic. He was just a way different guy, and then now he blew up into something that is just like an enterprise now.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that was my beginning journey, and then it evolved in me being a booker and running bar shows, and I got good at running bar shows. I got good at promoting, and I got people to pay a $10 cover on a Monday.
Yeah.
100 people. So I'd make $1,000. I'd break the comics off. They were happy.
Fuck yeah.
Because nobody's making money on a Monday.
Yeah.
And nobody's even playing a hot room on a Monday. My room was hot, man. So I had
hot room. Explain that.
Just
like
fire ass audience, dude. Okay. Like you're killing, man. Like it was just like a full club. It was fire, man. It was just so fun. It's fun stage time. So a packed room of everybody laughing.
Sick.
And I got the best guys, dude. I had Sebastian Maniscalco.
Okay.
Sebastian, okay, if you don't know who Sebastian is, he sold out Madison Square Garden 4 times in a row like it was a club.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. Madison Square Garden.
Man, ridiculous.
Ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll have a boxing match there.
Yeah, the boxing matches.
They don't have
the
4
Knicks
boxing
don't even
matches.
Fucking sell it out.
Yeah. So that's where that guy's level's at, and I had him in my fucking bar show.
Fuck yeah.
Who else did I have? I had Josh Wolf, who's doing huge numbers now too. Brett Ernst, who's on Cobra Kai. Sam Tripoli, who's in with like Rogan. Oh, I had Tom Segura.
Oh, sick.
I had Tom Segura, who's just astronomical now.
Yeah, he's huge.
He's huge, man.
You can't
Eric
talk
Griffin,
comedy without him.
Eric Griffin. And
Okay.
Eric Griffin, he was on Workaholics. Oh, actually, I had Adam Devine.
Oh, word. Okay.
As a middle act.
Just like.
He
was opening for
Eric
you.
Griffin.
Oh,
Eric
shit.
Griffin was closing the show.
Yeah.
And fucking Adam Devine was the middle act.
Oh, fuck.
And yeah, man. So I had all these guys, and I made all these connections, and so I got to know everybody.
Yeah.
And it was cool. And then.
You ever think about opening up your own club?
No, I no way, dude. I don't
No.
want to be a club owner. Like, that's a separate business.
Oh, word,
so
okay.
My business is selling tickets for me.
Right,
I don't
right,
want to
right.
promote and sell tickets for everybody else. I just want to get my shit out there and make people laugh and not worry about like overhead of a club or lame shit like oh we're out of Pepsi, you know.
Yeah.
I don't care about that.
Yeah.
You know.
Fucking still broke in the bag. Mm-hmm. What's your overall goal with comedy?
I actually have a very specific, unique goal
Okay.
with comedy. Because I thought about that, man.
Yeah.
I thought about that. I ran into so many douchebags, so many just arrogant people that wanted to be treated like gods, like wanted to be worshipped, really.
Damn.
And and like they come off like that too. They're like,
oh, you're a fan? Huh?
yeah, I mean, like they're just attitude.
Okay.
Attitude, really bad attitude. I'm like, I don't want to be like that, you know. And so I thought about, I'm like, what am I doing it for? And I had a long time to think about that too, because I took 4 years off of comedy from my first divorce. So I was I did comedy from 2004 to 2008, and then my wife left me for a coworker on our same shift.
Fuck. At the casino?
At the casino, yeah.
Fucking A, the casino.
Yeah, it's dirty, man.
Yeah.
That's the casino business.
Yeah.
So it broke me, man. It broke me, and I blame comedy. I'm like, bro, if I was around, it might have worked out. So I quit comedy for 4 years. Then I get remarried, not being a comic, and I want to jump back into it. And I'm thinking, like, why do I want to do this? Okay, well, I have so much fun on stage making people laugh, but also, here's the thing, man. Here's the thing why laughter is important. Is when I'm looking at a crowd of like 120, how many of those people do you think are going through a breakup, just lost a parent, got fired? Life is a lot of pain, and laughter gives you a break from that.
Yeah.
So there's one reason. The other reason, man. This is very important to me. I'm a Christian.
Right.
So I'm not going to shove it down people's throats. I'm not a pastor. However, I wouldn't mind having a big platform and a lot of attention, so I can point that attention up.
Oh, okay.
That's it. That's the whole purpose.
A word, okay.
Yeah. So I have those two positive things that I really want to accomplish. And one I can do every single night is give people a little relief. And then the other one's more of a long term. Like the more people I can point, I'm like, bro, like, all right, you like what I do, just, it's all from him,
Facts. Do you think, because you're great with public speaking, like, you know what I mean, like being a
lot of
comic,
practice,
you have to be, and like having my degree in communication, I could tell like when people like are comfortable with public speaking, like I could see some like stand-up comics, like they'll go up there, but they're like awkward, but they're funny, you know what I mean, like, and they're awkward, but they're funny, but it seems like you really like got down packed, like being comfortable. Do you think like having that focus eventually towards God, you could like maybe run like a funny like Sunday service, something like that? Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know what the end goal is, but I'm down for whatever God has planned for me. I'm not gonna fight it,
Right.
So like that's how it's gonna be. That being said, I'm not a complete like clean act. I mean, I'm not like way over I'm not bad or anything, but like
I heard you talk about the weed, like the 6-foot plant put in the little candy.
Yeah. So I'm not like, don't look at me as an example, but at the same time, I'm growing. You know what I mean? Like we all grow in that area too. You know what I mean? So.
Because I'm a fellow Christian as well, you know what I mean?
Nice, man,
and then
nice,
so
yeah.
I definitely believe in God, you know what I mean? I believe that, you know, there's a higher purpose other than ourselves, you know, but am I going to be the one to, like, here's the Bible, here's John, like, such and such, like, here's the verse that you need to read and it'll transform, like, no, you know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? I could give you some resources where, you know, if you needed it, you know what I mean? Don't be scared to reach out, you know what I mean? Because we all go through tough times, and, you know, we all need a shoulder to lean on, and God is the biggest shoulder of all, you know? But you've been on let's change the direction real quick. You've been on a couple tours so far, right? Or like where you've been to, like, city to city, you know?
Yeah, well, you know what? I do want to touch on something that you just said earlier about, like, me being comfortable on stage. I'm not naturally comfortable. It's something I had to really work at. You know, it's something I really had to work at. When I first started, I was reading. It sounded like I was reading a teleprompter. And every once in a while, like the guy I opened for, Quindale, blown up, by the way, Quindale Comedy, look him up, you'll love his stuff. He calls it speed slurring, because I'll say my shit so fast, it sounds like I'm just slurring my words together. Yeah. So I got a bad habit of that, and it's just, it's work, man. So to me, being comfortable on stage is, I look at it like working out. Like, you have to do it frequently, and you have to do consistently to grow at that. Yeah. And if you're skipping days or weeks, your ass is gonna be weak on stage. Yeah. So that's how that works, man. Is some people are naturally gifted and can just step onto a stage. Me, I had to put years and years and years. And also, dude, if I take a month off and I go back up there, it's gonna feel weird. Even just like a week sometimes. You're gonna feel like a little.
Like rusty.
Like, yeah, like for even like the first 2 minutes, and then you're like, oh, okay, then you get into your groove. But like with time off, like if I were to take a year off, like it'd be like starting over almost.
What was that feeling like when, like, from the 4 years that you took off to coming back? Like, that must have been like the first day at school, right?
It was weird, man, because like when I had left, I was able to light up a room for 25 minutes. Okay. I was a hot feature, a hot middle act. And I come back and I do that same material, and only about 7 minutes of it worked. Because I'm a different guy, so like, you know, you can't take somebody else's material that's personal and have it be funny if you're not that guy. Yeah. You know, so it was weird, and I had to start over, man. I had to start all over.
Almost felt like stealing a joke from yourself, huh?
Yeah, it felt like just I'm like talking about somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, it was just weird. You know, I had like fat jokes, and I wasn't even fat anymore. Yeah. You know, I was just a different guy. You know, in 4 years, you're gonna change. Yeah,
that's true. I know it's just looking 4 years back. I'm like, damn, like that's different. I was in a different place than where I am now. Yeah. You know? Like, do you find comedy therapeutic? Because I noticed you talk about like your childhood. 100%. You know,
100%. Like for them and me. Yeah. Like, it's just this great big positive feeling when you're killing. Right. When you're crushing on stage, and you're talking. I'm talking about, like, one of my favorite bits is about my first ex-wife and trying to catch her cheating on me. It's a true story. It's a true story. That's like, yeah, and because I was trying, and like, so I hung out for like a year to try to catch him. Like, I should have just confronted him. Like, but it was weird. I even hid under my bed, like, to try to like you're like, bitch, I got you. Like, you wanted that moment. Yeah, I wanted that. And like, so that's in the joke. And
can I hear that one real quick, like, just so I could get a feel for it? Is that too much on the spot?
No, man. Like, so yeah, like, I wanted to catch him in the moment, and then like right when they're in the middle of it, like the dude's about to bust, I can climb out from under the bed, rise up slowly, and be like, having fun.
Fuck, man, I couldn't. So did you ever catch him, or was it?
No. I never did. But I mean, I see him around. I've seen him on Facebook, and they're married, kid, everything. You know, some like, yeah, no, it was happening, and but it's all good, man. Right. At this point, I do wish them the best. Right. You know, I look back at my faults, and I'm like, oh yeah, I was a bit of a piece of shit. You know, just drinking every day, just, you know, being selfish. You know. That's the thing, you know. You can't be selfish in a relationship, man. Yeah. It's gonna deteriorate.
It goes both ways.
Yeah, man. So I mean, like I made my mistakes and I'm at peace with it.
Right. Living.
So yeah, completely therapeutic. Comedy is completely therapeutic.
Fact.
And then for them, there's probably a dude that just got cheated on in the audience.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh shit, man, like I'm not the only one.
Yeah, I'm not alone.
I'm not alone.
Yeah.
I'm not alone. So when you talk about your pain, it's great. It's great both ways.
Facts. Do you have people ever come up to you after the show is like man, like I've been through that, like
Definitely,
I felt that.
yeah. Like one of the things that people come up to me the most and like, hey man, like me too, was when I talk about like having approach anxiety.
Okay.
Like being like nervous to talk to women.
Right.
Yeah. So like when I'm attracted to a woman, like I don't know, it doesn't go well.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. I just feel like this.
Like you feel your heart about to jump out of your chest.
I feel like a kid, man.
Oh yeah.
So like there'll be like some like 50-year-old man, like, hey dude, yeah, me too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like when you talk about that stuff, and that's what comedy is like admitting like these embarrassing things that other people are going through too.
Yeah. Do you ever find yourself in moments where you're like, yep, this is gonna be on the next stand-up set I do, or this is gonna be like on the one of the jokes I do?
For sure, dude. Yeah, one time, and I like doing this joke still. I was staying pretty much in San Bernardino.
Okay.
I was on the border of it. I just say San Bernardino in the joke.
Right.
And there was this ghetto ass liquor store, dude.
Okay.
And there was this ghetto couple breaking up really loud. Like I knew all their shit.
Like every detail.
Yeah, because they were accusing each other. So I just, I went inside. I grabbed a 40 and cracked my window. I'm like, how much can I find out about these people? And I found out everything. Like she was fucking his brother. So he fucked his sister in return. Or her sister. Yes. I'm like, this is awesome. This is a good show, man. So,
did you finish the 40 like when they were done, or like?
Oh yeah, no, I finished the 40 and then like I had something to do, but they were still going. I'm like, I want to call into work, man. This is great. So yeah, like that moment, I'm like, I know this is gonna be a bit. Yeah. This is so funny. This is a funny, ridiculous situation.
Yeah.
So. I made it a joke, and that joke works.
Yeah, facts. That's sick. So I see you do jiu-jitsu every now and then. You know what I mean? If you ever want to pull up, you know what I mean? First free class on Pitbull Jiu-Jitsu. Shout out Pitbull. You know what I mean? Oh, shit. I'll pick you up. We could go. You know what I mean? One of these days before work or something. I'm
going to get that done, man. I got to get back on the mat. I really miss it. I wrestled for 6 years, jiu-jitsu for a little over 2. Shout out to Hemet High and Cuesta College.
Okay, shout out.
Yeah, those are my
alma mater.
Alma maters, dude, for wrestling. With wrestling at Cuesta Junior College, I wrestled with Jake Shields.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, who's
a dog.
Yeah, he
ain't no other way to really describe him, man.
He's a badass, man. And
that room must have been intense, huh?
It was different, man. It was different. It was like, because when you wrestle like in high school and you're just wrestling other boys,
yeah, it
feels a certain way. And then when you come in, like these are men.
Yeah,
these are men. Like and the power behind them, like they will. Oh man, like I've seen some explosive power where like dudes will blast a hole right through your hip with their double, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's this badass kid named Fabian Sandoval who had one of the most explosive head in the middle doubles I've ever seen. And so I learned from that guy. And we had, I don't know, maybe like 10 kids that went to state and like maybe 3 that placed at state in the room.
Hell yeah.
In the room, like in like top, like 7th, 3rd, 2nd in state. And in California state is tough, man.
Yeah, there's only one state champ.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, I mean, I got that grappling bug in me that I got to get back in there. And with jiu-jitsu, that was cool too. I had my buddy that I used to work with, he got his black belt under BJ Penn.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, and he's like, dude, BJ, he weighs like 160, but when he's applying his top pressure, he said it feels like the whole ceiling is on top of you.
Oh, I can imagine.
He is brutal, dude. I mean, it's a nasty roll. It's not fun.
Yeah, that dude's something else.
And his brother JD, he might even be worse.
Really?
Yeah, because like he has like the most insane crossface.
Oh shit.
Like when he's on top of you in side control,
Yeah.
I mean, he'll have your head just going in that direction, your body going in this direction, and
fuck, nothing you can do
there was
about
a
it.
7 foot tall, 300-pound guy, and he had him just flattened out like nothing.
Oh. Yeah, I could just imagine trying to catch a crossface from him. I don't want to imagine, honestly.
Yeah.
If you could tell the people something about yourself they don't already know, what would you want them to know?
What would they want to know that? Something about them. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. Like, I think I covered all that stuff. Like,
Yeah, we covered a lot today.
I
Well, you got
pretty
a podcast coming up, right?
But yeah, I do want to say that. Yes. So right now, I've been opening for Quindale.
Okay. Shout out.
Shout out to Quindale. He's like my best friend in life, and I've known him since like 2007. And he's on fire right now. He's blowing up. Check out his Instagram. Like, he's got, I don't know, 12 videos that are over 1 million views.
Yeah, you sent me a couple of them. I was like, man, this guy is huge.
He's on fire, man. So we are going to start a podcast very soon.
Fuck yeah.
So yeah, if you want to, I'll be posting clips on my page
Thanks.
from the podcast and my stand-up. So if you want to give me a follow, it's at Alfonso Comic.
Make sure to tap in. This is how we get down together, All People Network, and this is how we do it.